You know that feeling when the Wi-Fi goes down, your weekend plans get canceled, and you're suddenly staring at a blank afternoon? For a lot of people, that's a straight-up emergency. It's the what do I do with my hands? Panic. But then there's this other group. People who, if you left them in a waiting room for 3 hours with nothing but a peeling piece of wallpaper to look at, would eventually come out and say, actually, had a pretty productive time. I'm talking about the people who genuinely never feel bored when they're alone. And no, they aren't enlightened monks or people who just have really long to-do lists. There's some fascinating psychology happening under the hood here. So let's get into it. First, we have to talk about the internal monologue. Most of us have a voice in our head. But for people who thrive in solitude, that voice is basically a 24/7 high production value podcast. Psychologists call this autotelic personality. Essentially, these folks find the activity of thinking to be inherently rewarding. They don't need a dopamine hit from a TikTok scroll or a text notification, because their brain is already busy butter sculpting a complex theory about why their favorite TV show ended the way it did. Their internal world isn't a quiet room, it's a sandbox. Then there's the optimal stimulation level. If your nervous system is wired to be highly sensitive, the noise of the outside world, the social expectations, the small talk, the literal traffic, can feel like a sensory assault. For these people, being alone isn't a lack of anything. It's finally reaching baseline. It's like turning off a vacuum cleaner that's been running in the background of your life for 8 hours. That silence isn't empty. It's room to breathe. We also have to look at something called mind-wandering agency. There's a big difference between distraction and reflection. Research shows that people who don't get bored alone tend to be better at directed daydreaming. Instead of their minds spinning in circles about, did I leave the stove on? Or why did I say that in 2014? They can intentionally guide their thoughts toward creative problem solving or mental time travel. They aren't just sitting there, they're building something in their head. Now, there's a bit of a taboo around this. Our culture is obsessed with being busy. We treat boredom like a personal failure and solitude like a symptom of loneliness. If you tell someone you spent your Saturday staring at the ceiling and thinking about the Roman Empire, they'll ask if you're depressed. But psychologically, being comfortably alone is actually a massive sign of emotional regulation. It means your locus of control is internal. You don't need the world to perform for you in order for you to feel okay. But let's be real. Sometimes it's just about flow states. People who never get bored often have niche obsessions. Maybe it's mechanical keyboards, or deep diving into the history of a random spice, or practicing a specific guitar riff for the 400th time. When you're in a flow state, time doesn't just pass, it disappears. To an outsider, you look like a hermit. To you, you're on a high-stakes mission. So if you're the person who starts sweating when your phone hits 2%, or if you're the person who views a canceled plan as a surprise gift from the universe, neither of you is broken. We're just tuned to different frequencies. Some of us need the roar of the crowd to feel alive, and some of us just need a quiet room and a very interesting thought. If you're one of the never bored crowd, let me know in the comments what your last mental deep dive was. I genuinely want to know. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe. It helps the channel more than you know. I'm glad we could spend this time together, even if you would have been perfectly fine without me.